estate will treat you well. You're in the know, the market's moving fast. Let's go, 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 go. Care about real estate? Like and subscribe, don't hesitate. Care about real estate? Like and subscribe, don't hesitate. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
That's the difference between new home as well too. I like to tell a lot of people a lot of times, and I explain to my clients, new homes and resale is two different ball games. My resale lenders, again, we can see face to face. We have those phone calls. When it comes to new homes, because I do a lot of new home construction homes, I explain to my clients, again, unfortunately, you don't have that relationship. And the new home lenders are not that educational.
Yeah.
You know, they don't educate like that because they don't have the time. They don't have
It's not worth their time.
Yeah, it's not worth their time. They have the numbers. The thing is, like, if you don't purchase this home, it's gonna be another buyer immediately to take over that new home.
Yeah,
So,
they don't feel it's valuable to spend the time to educate you. Because what people don't understand when they go to buy a new build is 9 times out of 10, they're going to be required, not absolutely required, but they're not going to get their incentives that the builder offers unless they use the preferred lender of the builder. So the builder's just feeding in clients to this lender, and so they know that they're going to get these new deals regardless if it's this client or the next one. So they don't spend their time educating the buyer on these very important things. And that's what I hear about all the time.
And that is, like I said, I do a lot of new home construction. No knocking on new home builders, but at the end of the day, I have to explain the difference because it is a very big difference when it comes to knowing the numbers and the process. I've had 2 buyers at new homes, and I'm saying, hey, can I get a hold of the lender? The lenders typically, some lenders won't talk to me. Depends on the builder. Some lenders will not speak to me at all, period. Now, I've had a relationship with some of the builders because I do a lot of new homes. They've actually had a conversation with me, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I need to know my client understands their numbers. Because I've had 2 deals. One deal right at signing, well, my buyer had not really been instructed on his numbers. He didn't understand the numbers. And whether they had a conversation way before, when it came to the closing, it was a done deal. And it was this time last year at family reunion. I'm in conference. I'm getting a phone call saying, hey, we got a problem. And literally, the new build agent, my client is fussing. I'm trying to, come in between, see how I can diffuse the situation. And literally, my client was at the closing table, notaries at his house, and he did not close in this deal last year. Did not close.
You know what? Whether you're the preferred lender, the builder, whatever lender you are, there's absolutely no excuse. No matter how busy you are, there's no excuse to not educate your clients who rely on you for this information on all that stuff. And it's just like all too common, and it just blows my mind that it's even possible.
Yeah, so like I said, things happen. So I explain to my clients all the time, things happen during the transaction. We can be smooth selling, and at the end of the transaction, something minor can happen. And the main thing is that you have me here as your agent, gonna try to keep everything calm. I'm gonna step in and see what I can do to make sure I can get the deal closed. That's most important for me, is making sure my clients are taken care of, getting the deal closed. And if it's not a good fit for the clients, we can't make it work, we can walk away. On to the next house, something more greater is coming.
Yeah.
So
it comes down to you being the caring agent, or anyone being the caring agent or caring lender. Like, how much do you care about this person? If you're not providing all that info up front, you don't care. It's just like plain and simple. It wasn't worth your time.
Exactly.
But it can make the transaction go so much more smoothly.
Definitely. I want to talk a little bit about, us working together as lenders and real estate agents. We're talking about lenders and, the situations during the transactions. The most important thing for me, like I said earlier, was communication. I'm big on communication. I've been in situations where lenders, they disappear on me when something's going wrong because they feel like they need to solve the problem first.
Yeah.
But, for me, I'm about communication. We need to know what's going on so we can work together as a team. So, what do you think about that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you're not able to get a hold of the lender, you should probably be concerned, because there's probably a problem that they're too scared to tell you about. And when a lender pre-approves a client, they should have checked everything to make sure it's correct and that you don't run into those problems. That's the whole point of a pre-approval. But mistakes happen. There's human error or whatever. But the best thing the lender can do is just answer the phone or pick up the phone before the agent even calls. And I'd say that's helped me build character in the last 13 years. I mean, I've always done that, but and I try to get these pre-approvals right every single time to where there's not a problem. But sometimes things happen out of my control, and I have to be the one to explain the bad news. And regardless of how long I'm doing this, sometimes I'm still scared to call Kenya and tell her like we have to fix this major problem on the transaction. But it comes down to the caring again. Like it's the best thing for these people involved. Plus, then I don't have to have it on my mind every night for the next 4 nights until I finally get the guts to call and tell you about it. So like, just call them, tell them about the problem, and say, here are our options to fix the problem, and just move forward the best way you can from there.
Definitely, and I appreciate that. Like I said, I've been in transactions where I'm like, oh God, what's going on? We don't know. Even on the selling side, I mean, this past December, I had a situation with my sales. We were on the contract, and we could not reach even the buyer's agent. Nobody's answering the phone. Lender, buyer's agent. So we was like, okay, wait a minute, something's going on. I am panicking because I know my sellers were ready to get closed for the holidays. We originally wanted to get closed in December. We had to extend, and that was like coming up on Christmas. We're like, okay, what's going on? And kind of find out at the end of the day, the buyer lost their job, but they had got a new job. So then they had to redo the numbers and had to add on some co-bars. And we didn't have the information for like a couple of days, and then we were like, got this information. We're glad it's working out, but you got to communicate because we were panicking. So
they were probably trying to fix the problem without you knowing about it, but that's just a bad way to go about it. The buyer's agent, the lender, call you and say, Kenya, I can't believe this. The buyer lost their job. They're stressed out about it. But the good news is they've got this new job, plus their dad's willing to co-sign. So we still need to gather all this information and plug it in. They need to get their first pay stub, and then we can get you to closing. But please give us a couple more weeks. I can't believe this happened. Like what's the harm in saying that? Picking up the phone and calling that.
Yeah.
And saying that to you.
Definitely communication is the key for any good transaction. So again, for me, the relationship between the lender, title company is communication. That gets us transactions so smooth to the closing table.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to do. We want to get the transaction smooth to the closing table.
Sure.
So, all right, Ron, let's talk about the rates. I know right now we talk about the home prices and the median price around 45, but what are you seeing now with the rates? I know a lot of people look to the agents about, we got a crystal ball, we know what the rates are going to look like. We really truly can't tell about the rates or the numbers. Most important thing, we see the trends, but what do you see right now going on with the rates?
Well, a common thing that buyers right now will say is, I'm going to wait for rates to come down. And I understand where they're coming from because higher rates equal higher payments. You got to make sure you can afford the payment. But when we look at over the last few years since rates have gone up, we've seen rates do this: up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So it all comes down to economic factors. The two primary ones right now that are affecting rates are really inflationary numbers. What kind of control are we getting over inflation? So if inflation continues to rise, it's typically bad for mortgage rates. And jobs numbers, which the two kind of go together. So if there's less unemployment, it signals a strong economy, which can also, I wouldn't say it's bad for rates, but it's not a telltale sign that rates are about to go down. So we'll see fluctuation in all these reports and many other factors. So we'll see factors that work in our favor as far as rates go, and we'll see rates are going down. Finally rates are going down. As lenders, we're hoping for this. Buyers, agents, everyone's hoping for it, right? So we'll see rates are finally going down. Then another report will come back that will turn them the other way. So we're seeing that, in several month stints over and over the last few years. So they're sitting somewhere on the 6 and 7s. And so the moral is, make sure if you can't afford your payment, don't go buy at current rates and then worry about getting foreclosed on later or something, or being stressed every day of your life trying to make this payment. But if you can afford the payment at the current rates, I know it sucks, rates are where at there right now, but they may not go down. And so another thing is, we thought in this industry, so rates were in the 3s for 10 years with some small increases, and even in the 2s during COVID. And we thought when rates started to go up, that was when we were finally going to see maybe a little bit of break in prices, because maybe that will hurt demand a little bit and that will bring prices down that way. But the demand still exceeds supply in housing even at higher rates. So while you're waiting for rates to go down, we don't really know if that's going to happen. We thought it would have happened sooner, it hasn't. But meanwhile, prices are going up. So that's just something to consider. I hate to be persuasive, but that's a very important thing. If you're considering becoming a home owner, that's something you really need to consider. Is we might be in this market where rates are hovering in the 6 and 7s for a while.
Exactly, and like you said, the housing prices, it's been going up. It's been steady. It's been consistent. That's one thing that's been very consistent are the house prices. And right now, we're looking at the fact that here in Vegas, we have several factors we got to look at. We have the new stadium that came open. We have now we got baseball coming. And then like we're gonna have a new Hollywood. It's gonna be a smaller Hollywood now come to Vegas. So those facilities are gonna be growing, and then keep our fingers crossed. We may have NBA coming soon. So again, those things that can put a factor when it comes to house pricing. So as you stated, the rates are what the rates are gonna be. Most importantly for me, when I purchased back in 2006, the rates were in the sixes. That was never a conversation nobody had with me. My conversation was always about my affordability, how much I can afford as a mortgage payment. I was a single mom, so my main thing was coming from rent and going to a mortgage. Can I afford to purchase this home on my own? And I didn't have nobody was even discussing rates back then. It wasn't even a concern. And I even bought my rate down some of the program I did. But at the end of the day, my thing was about affordability. What can I afford to purchase? And that was gonna be my price point. I wasn't gonna be able to pay over anything over what I couldn't afford a month. So I tell buyers today is if you're ready, have money saved and you're ready to go, worry about the monthly mortgage payment to make sure you can afford that monthly mortgage payment.
Like and subscribe.